Welcome to the inaugural Cuddler Chronicles. This is a cuddler, love this piece, and I want to bring other people on the Cuddler Chronicles because it's the Cuddler Chronicles, pain-free living beyond the body, right?
Nice.
So I help people get out of physical pain, right? Muscle and joint pain, that's why they call me the painkiller, right? But there's a lot of other stuff that's a pain in the, and other people take care of those problems. So that's why I wanted people to come join me on this.
Great.
And today we have Mark Goad, principal broker and owner of the Good Life RVA. He's been helping people buy and sell homes for 26 years.
Yes.
And welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So we did talk about a couple topics, and I actually do have real questions about this stuff.
Great.
I was in school in 2008.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And went into a test, and when we got out of the test, I lost $30,000. Right? I know they did like The Big Short and all that stuff, but you never like rely on movies for actual data.
Right.
So how is, like, everybody's freaking out about like homes and buying and selling. I'm like, no, I'm going to stay where I am, and this is not the right time. How is this different from 2008? Just pretend that I'm stupid because I really don't understand real estate.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
So,
Well, I think the government intervention had a lot to do with it because the real estate market, like any other market, naturally ebbs and flows.
Okay.
And leading up to 2008, the government had made a lot of bad decisions to keep the market doing this much longer than it probably should have.
Okay.
So when you climb that far, that fast, the drop tends to be pretty hard. There were
Good for a roller coaster, not good for money.
right, because we all had our hands in the air screaming on the way down.
Yeah.
But yeah, prices were artificially inflated, mortgage rates were artificially maintained, loan products. There was very little governing of mortgage products. So a lot of people got into trouble with very risky loans. And as soon as values started to decline, it crashed hard.
Okay. So a lot of people are, I guess, upside down on their mortgages.
Right.
It's not worth as much as I still owe.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right. And there were a lot of interest-only mortgages out there where you had a very low mortgage payment, but your balance was not coming down at all. So not only was the value of your home coming down, the balance of your loan was going up. Kind of the opposite of how it should work.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's different now?
Different now, the mortgage rates, the market prices are being allowed to just fluctuate more naturally.
Okay.
Which we've all seen a taste of over the last few years. Mortgages are very much more regulated. Mortgage lenders are not making such risky loans.
Okay.
And buyers, I think a lot of people who were homeowners or of homeowner age back in 2008 learned a lot of lessons. So they're taking fewer risks going into it. So there's and plus with the equity being so high, home values are so high, people have so much equity. More than 30% of homeowners in the US own their homes free and clear. So that we're not over leveraged like we were back in 2008.
Percentage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And another 30 to 40% have at least 50% equity in their homes. So there's not nearly the equity shortage situation that we had in 2008.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So the interest jumping up the way it is, I still have like 2.7% on my mortgage,
right?
Which is, I think, a great rate, especially compared to now, because it's what, like 8, something like that now.
Somewhere between 7.
So and 8, how does that affect? Because all right, I know that in COVID, it seemed like everybody was like losing their job and then becoming a real estate agent,
right?
Right. And I'm sure like it seemed like from the outside, it seemed like all of these commissions were just falling out of the trees. You know what I mean? So what does it take now? Because it seems like it was easy to sell, it was easy to buy. Is it still that easy, or?
It's been pretty challenging to buy for several years now,
just
even before the interest rates climbed. Because there was so much demand and so few homes. When 2008 hit, when the market crashed, builders just stopped building.
Okay.
So, and it was several years before builders started picking up again. So we were already millions of homes short for our population, and then builders have just been trying to catch up, but they can't build fast enough to catch up. Now we have a lot of folks who want to move, would be interested in moving, but they love their mortgage rate more than they love their house. So they don't want to move. They think, why would I give up my 2.7% mortgage to go and buy something new at 7%? So there's a lot of that going, and that's just further restricting the inventory of homes that we have for sale, which makes it that much tougher for buyers.
So I guess, is it tough to sell your home? Or that sounds to me like you have an open house and you're going to have 6 offers that day.
There's been a whole lot of that. It is definitely easier to sell than it is to buy. It's very much still a seller's market, and that's defined by how much inventory there is on the market and how quickly it can be absorbed. So it's definitely still a seller's market. Right. Things just in the last couple of months, things have, probably thanks to the interest rates, have slowed a little bit, but that just means maybe you're getting 5 offers on your home instead of 10. So it's still
pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's still pretty darn good.
Wow. So what does it take? I guess what does it take in this market? Right. What makes this different? Like, so if you're trying to buy, how are you so successful? Because I see, like, oh, we're looking for this house. Oh, it was sold here. Or there's so many people. I love your sign that says "Say yes to the address."
Yes,
I think that's hilarious. So I guess what makes you able to navigate this and have so many deals? Does that make sense?
I think perspective. I think it helps that I've been in the business for so long. I would never say I've seen everything, but I've seen a lot, so I can bring perspective to the table and help buyers understand why, despite the interest rates, it's still a good time to buy, and kind of project what they could look forward to in that. And I also take a very kind of a Papa Bear kind of consultative approach. There are a lot of agents out there, unfortunately, who are counseling their buyers. Oh, you've got to waive the appraisal. You've got to waive the inspection if you want this house. And I just can't, in good conscience, do that. So, so I'm helping people. It may take several tries, but I'm helping people get the house they want, be competitive, but still protecting them, not letting them get into something that's big and scary.
Minimize that buyer's remorse.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So in that, I know one thing that I heard you say that made me laugh, and I was like, man, that's actually, it sounds like really good advice. Where you say, marry the house, date the rate.
Date the rate. That's right. Yeah. That's right. There are a lot of people who are holding out on making a move right now because home values are high. Yeah. Interest rates are high. They feel like it's a real double whammy. So a lot of people are just kind of waiting for market values to crash again and for interest rates to come down. Interest rates are projected to come down pretty substantially over the next couple of years. Home prices, they're going to continue to rise.
That's not going to come down either.
Not for the foreseeable future. So unfortunately, folks who are waiting, they're going to find themselves
buying less house.
Interest rates are going to drop, which means more buyers are coming back to the market. So now you've got more competition, fewer, more expensive houses. So it's just going to be, so it's much better, in my opinion, to buy now, get in on that appreciation and enjoy that equity build over the next few years, knowing that within a couple of years, you're going to have a chance to refinance and lower that mortgage rate.
Sounds like really good advice. I know I tend to help people with that perspective. They're like, oh man, 8% is terrible. I'm like, what percentage is your rent?
Normal. Right.
That seems like 100%. You know, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. Pay your own, man. Right. Wish somebody had told me that 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, and they think nothing about paying 24% on a credit card or 10% on a car loan, but 8% on a mortgage is way too high. So, yeah, interesting.
That is a very good point.
Yeah. The 2 and 3% mortgage rates were such a small blip on the radar of mortgage, but
it was very short, so I got in at the right time.
Yeah, spoiled us rotten. We're ruined now.
I get it. Well, honestly, thank you so much for giving me that perspective and answering my questions. Thank you. I feel like I have a lot more information that's good information. Good. I want to end with something that I call a painkiller closer, right? So obviously I'm called the painkiller. And I got this from James Lipton. He used to do a show called Inside the Actors Studio. Okay. And he would always do the same questionnaire. Gotcha. So I'm going to go ahead and run through those, and you can talk as little or as much as you want. Okay. And you can pass. Okay. Actually, you can pass. Okay. So the first question is, what is the best piece of advice you've heard, received, or given in your field?
Lean into relationships.
Lean into relationships. Yeah. I like it. Tell me why.
think a lot of people think I'm in the housing business, but I'm in the relationship business. I work completely by referral, so to me it's all about growing a relationship with a new client and just maintaining and nurturing a relationship with a past client. Most of my clients are friends or they're clients who become friends.
Nice.
So it's
nice.
To me it's just the best way to do business. I'm always getting to work with the best quality people.
Seems like a natural thing when you go, like when you work in the housing market to build a community.
Right.
Seems,
There are a lot of agents out there who just looking for the next deal. They're not building relationships, just looking for the next transaction. And that's fine. There's enough out there for everybody, but that's not how that's not my vibe.
Right. I get it. That's awesome. Because I kind of feel that way too. Like with patients, I want to get you out of pain, but it's really I want to get you to the life that you want to live.
Right.
All right. What is the worst piece of advice that you've either has been given to you or that you've heard somebody give somebody else?
Wow. Probably the exact opposite of that. Call that lead 3 times, and if they don't respond, move on. Just chuck it and move on and forget about them.
Okay.
So very much the
kind of always be closing thought process.
Exactly. The churn and burn.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. All right. Describe your purpose in life. Big one, right?
That's a big one. I think it might be to just help bring some peace and some joy to people that I work with and that I spend my time with.
That's awesome.
I don't know. That's
to be
my
a
hope.
source of that.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. It's a big responsibility.
Yeah. It is.
But it's what I try to do in my business and with my friend sphere.
Okay. I guess this leads right into this. Tell me something that others value that you don't.
Interesting.
Good question, right?
It is a good question.
I got that from a guy named Jay Shetty.
Yeah.
I heard him ask Tony Robbins that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe money just for the sake of money.
Huh.
I view money and income more as a tool for doing good work. There's a lot of things I want to do. There's a lot of people I want to help. But it takes money to do all those things.
Right.
So, so a lot of people, especially in my business, unfortunately, are just all about making as much money as they can and can come off a little gross. But for me, I try to make more money so that I can do more good with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a great perspective. This is why I ask questions like this.
Yeah, these are tough.
Okay. If you could create one law that people had to follow, what would it be?
Don't talk on your speakerphone in public.
There was, I don't know if you remember these commercials. There's a Reebok used to do a commercial with like an office linebacker.
Yeah.
You remember those?
Vaguely, yeah.
There was one time where he was in an office and there was a guy talking on a speakerphone and he just tackled him and says, "This ain't your home, so don't use a speakerphone."
Love it.
All right. What is a book you read or movie or podcast that you're really passionate about and why?
I would say my all-time favorite podcast so far has been Brene Brown's series on Unlocking Us. Oh. She just had some of the most impressive, powerful interviews, the people she got on there to interview. And it started during COVID and ended maybe about a year ago. So it was really just a 2 or 3 year period, but she had some of the most impressive speakers. Yeah, she could always, those conversations could always tear me up. A couple times I had to pull over on the side of the road for a minute, but yeah, just really, really good stuff.
Wow. I'll check it out. Yeah. I'm gonna write that down. Brene Brown.
And I'm currently reading, this is also proving to be really impactful, is a book called Unreasonable Hospitality. And it's a great book. It comes from a restaurateur's perspective, but it applies to anybody who's in the service industry. And it's just about providing service that just goes way above and beyond and knocks people's socks off.
Unreasonable
hospitality. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember the author's name. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So last one. You ready? When you're done, right? So we're almost done.
Yeah.
When you're done, how do you want people to remember you?
Kind. Funny.
Funny? Kind?
Funny and fun. Yeah.
I like it. Okay. That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Sweet.
You know what? That's a beautiful thing, though. Kind and funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. This has been the Cuddler Chronicles, pain-free living beyond the body. I know that whole process of buying and selling houses and all that stuff, it can be a pain.
It can be a pain.
So thank you for solving that pain for people.
Try to minimize it at least.
Right, exactly. Thank you again.
Thank you, Joe.